You're listening to WAJC 1360, the Eye of the Tiger. And with me today in our studio, we have a full house, like always.
Yep.
Who plays poker? I play poker. A full house
I
is
play
good.
poker with a 45 in front of me.
We have a full house today. How you doing?
I was trying to find you.
With us in our studios today, we have the grand activistas like always. The man, the legend, the man that takes no prisoner, Jose Santiago.
That's correct, and I ain't going to take it.
Can you give me a share for her? And it's a great pleasure. This person is the man. The man. He is a rap artist, right?
Yeah, rap artist.
Rap artist has his own label, right?
Yep. City Records.
All right, and he's no other than Big Lou. Give it up, Big Lou. What's up?
What's up, baby? Good morning, everybody.
Go next to the mic. You gotta talk close.
Good morning, everybody. Lost City Records, Big Lou in the building, repping Angel Cordero, and everybody in here. It's a beautiful day, man.
Yo, Big Lou's the man, all right? You go anywhere in the hood, you go on the ground, he's the man, all right? Yeah, we did a commercial on my elections, and he brought like, wow, there was like 50 people from New York, all these cars, and we took over we did a commercial in front of the prison. And the car came and said, "You can't do this here. Get out of here."
Yeah, it was a great commercial. Took over Jersey City, and we got more commercials to do this year, man, before you can get that mayor spot.
We also did the commercial of my campaign, and it went, "That was me. I changed. Now I'm going to change Camden." That was good. It was good. Okay, and my next guest. It's a man I learned to love in like, what, a month? No other than the Chief. What's up, Chief?
Thank you, brother. Yeah, it has been a short and sweet relationship, but hopefully it'll be a long one.
Absolutely long, doing great work.
That we can work together, get stronger, and help push our people to a better place.
And my next guest, and I forgot totally your name, I'm going to be honest.
Good morning, Angel. It's Marianne Boyle.
Marianne. Marianne, we have had a short relation, but sweet too, right?
Yes, only a week I've known you.
I met Marianne in the School Choice Alliance meeting in Piscataway, and we're doing good work. We're in the same team to try to fight for our children. Say a couple of words.
Well, I'm here to support the OSHA, the Opportunity Scholarship Act, and I want to work with you, and I'm looking forward to working with the rest of the organization.
Awesome. And our next guest is a activist from Camden, and a person that I don't know if to love her or hate her, but we are working together. Well, I guess it's a working plan. A working relationship. No other than AJ Aparte.
Well, all you need to know is that I am a passionate Puerto Rican, okay? And that tells you all, whether you love me or hate me or want to,
Passionate Puerto Rican or Well, I don't know what the is, but it's there. Okay. What's do or die? What's that?
Do or die.
Yeah.
Simplify.
Okay.
Simplify, do or die.
And guys, simplify.
Do
or die.
That's correct.
That's where I put the Opportunity Scholarship coming in lame duck. And that's what we're going to talk about. And if you marry, we're going to talk Marianne. All right. Let's take this call. You're listening to the WNJC 1360, the Eye of the Tiger. Who we have the pleasure to speak to today?
Hey, Angel, this is Dan Haggerty. How you doing?
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Pretty good, buddy.
Dan is a good man. Dan has a radio show here in the station, right, Dan?
That's right. This afternoon at 3 o'clock, Billy Bear and me, we will be talking about education and the Opportunity Scholarship Act. So our show is called Patriots Watch, and we do it every Wednesday for 1 hour.
Every Wednesday for 1 hour, and that starts at 3 o'clock, right, Dan?
That's right, Angel.
Guy, tune in to Dan and the Bear. The Bear, right?
That's right. That's right. Billy Bear, the Bear. That's right.
Awesome.
Oh.
So what bring you around today?
Well, as you know, Angel, we were both at the meeting of the New Jersey School Choice and Education Reform Alliance last week, and a number of issues came up. One of them was the Opportunity Scholarship Act. But as you know, that group to which you and I both belong is involved with trying to reform the education systems.
Yes.
A lot of things we deal with, right?
Yes. Hey, Dan, just a class of clarification here. I have with me in studio today the gran activista Jose Santiago, that's the great activist Jose Santiago. Also, I have a great singer, rap artist, his own label, Big Lou. And I also have the vice president of the Hispanic firefighters, none other than the chief. I also have Marianne with us, and also a activist that love her or hate her, she's always there, AJ Alponte.
Also known as the Passionate Puerto Rican.
Passionate Puerto Rican. That's the
Good
last
for
one.
you. You.
All right, I'm sorry. Just want to let you know who was here. So, Dan, we have a tremendous, a lot of work ahead of us. But, you know, our problem has been with the OSA that the Hispanics and black legislators do not support the Opportunity Scholarship Act, and right now the Speaker of the House, Shirley Oliver, right? She had a chance to post the bill and did not. This African American lady has held this scholarship, the OSA, hostage, and you know, the fact of the matter is that this Opportunity Scholarship Act, this great piece of legislation, is going to save thousands of lives of kids who are trapped in these prisons we call schools.
That's right. And you know, Angel, I've been working on school choice since 1992 in California. Mm-hmm. When I lived in Los Angeles, I worked on Proposition 174. And I'll tell you a little story about that. You know, I was listening to the radio one morning, waking up, and I was listening to NPR. Now, we all know NPR,
yeah,
right?
National Public Radio.
Yeah, you got it. And NPR said, you know, this proposition that's coming up to give people the right to get school vouchers, one of the bad things that could happen is that they could open pagan schools teaching witchcraft. So let me tell you, I heard that, and I got threw the radio out the window. Two things about that. I've never listened to NPR since then, and I never will. The second thing is, as soon as I got ready for work, I got on the phone, I called Sacramento, and I said, who do I talk to help out with Proposition 174? And they gave me a phone number, and I called up this organization. It was called Excel, Excellence in Choice Through Education League, and they said, yeah, come on down and help. So for the first week or two, they had me making phone calls, talking to people about school choice and vouchers. But after a while, I said, look, I could speak about this in front of large groups. I could talk publicly about it. I'd love to do that. So I did. They put me out into debates, public speeches in front of different groups, and I talked about Proposition 174. Well, we got a lot of interest on it, and, you know, some of the people who came up and told me that they liked the idea of vouchers were school teachers. They said, you know, we'd love to do this, but the union stands in the way. They won't let us do it.
Absolutely.
And Proposition 174 got defeated in 1993 in California, and we thought that was the end, but a lot of us have been continuing on. But to get back to your point, Angel, about Sheila Oliver and the Black and Hispanic communities, one of the things I've come to realize is that especially in the Black community, they do not vote the interests of the school children.
Mm-hmm.
These Black politicians say that they're in favor of education and they're all there for the kids, but that's not their first priority. Their first priority is getting reelected, and the unions control the money supply so they can get reelected. So that's a shameful thing to think about, but it's true. The kids in the Black communities and the urban school districts take second place to the wishes of the union.
Yeah, it is a fact that Black politicians have sold out the dream, have sold out their community, and the Hispanic politicians follow the Black legislators' lead.
Follow the leader.
Yeah, they are following the leader.
Yep.
They have no dream. Their interest is to get reelected, so of course they're not going to piss off the teachers' union.
Right.
That's all it is. How and I said it last week on this program, how evil it is for some legislators to say, I don't support the Opportunity Scholarship Act, but I want my city in the program. If you don't put my city in the program, I'm going to come out immersively against it. You're saying that's evil. You know it's going to work, but you're not going to vote for it. And these are Hispanic and Black legislators saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, these people, in my opinion, have gotten a free pass from the people like the NAACP, who had sold out the dream too. Look at the state chapter, who is against the Opportunity Scholarship Act.
Look at the city
Absolutely.
chapter.
The city chapter
city
too.
chapter
Go ahead, Jose. Shine it.
I agree too. I believe that our elected officials in the city of Camden are not really looking to the need of the community. They only look into the need of their self and self-interest. This is going on for the last 60 years. That's how come the city hasn't got anywhere. And it gets worse and worse because of the kids. The kids, they got no place to go. The school system stink. That all they do is worry about hiring the cousins and the school board, hire the uncle, and then the one that we put in there, the one that sit in the school board, forget about it. These people are mute and even hard to hear. They don't hear nothing.
They have no plan.
They have no plan.
They have no plan.
They have one plan. They have one plan.
Big Lou, what do you think about this? You target your music hit urban cities and the urban cities and the people who listen to your music are directly affected by this. So what you think about that?
I mean, as far as the cities, the city of Camden goes, like we don't even got money to give the kids new books. You know what I'm saying? They still reading the same old books. You know what I mean? And it started with Faison was in office. You know what I'm saying? And the money was getting misused in the school systems and stuff like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dropouts, you know what I mean, which thanks to you picking up a lot of these kids that's leaving schools and doing something positive. We need to reinforce the laws in the school. They need to get stricter, you know what I mean? They need to fire some of the teachers that's dead. They need to fire like almost all them teachers because the teachers don't even care. They just going in there for a paycheck, you know what I mean? And that's just what's happening, you know what I mean?
Lou was saying get collective bargaining out of the schools because that's tenure collective bargaining is the two things that are keeping bad teachers there.
Exactly.
You know what? It's so funny is that I know some of these elected officials. Well, I know all of them. But the kids don't go to public schools.
Oh, of course not. Not even the teachers
they all go Catholic school and so on, so on.
Or charter school. Well, they hate charter schools, but they kids go to charter school.
In fact, one of the elected officials' daughter just graduated from charter school.
The Board of Education sits there and demonize charter schools, but their kids are charter schools. I mean, it's like
look, if you have the means,
That's
and
the
you
cheese.
care about your children, you're going to send them to a good school. Unfortunately, the system's not working now. But that doesn't mean that the elements aren't here to turn this around quickly.
Right.
Not all these teachers are bad. I mean, there's a lot of good teachers there, but they may be frustrated with the system. The system has to be changed. But let's be careful with attacking all the teachers, because there's a lot of people that care. I mean, and in my experience, and the ones I've talked to, they love these students and they want to do better. Okay?
We're not attacking the teachers. We always say no.
I mean,
at least I'm not attacking the
teachers.
teachers.
But it comes out a lot. And it comes from the governor on down. Everybody's attacking the teachers and the teachers union.
Because of the union, that's what he's all about.
But when I hear, a lot of remarks about, all the teachers, it's not. It's just a few. But the thing is, the system needs to be changed.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But to change the system, you have to go with the union they agree with.
And the union. We're personalizing the attack, because a lot of these teachers do care. So it's not, don't make it so personal, even though it is a personal issue about your family. People care, and they want to care. Well, but we need to put the leadership in there that'll turn this around quickly.
Go ahead, Luke. You guys have something?
Let me rephrase that. I ain't attacking all the teachers. What I said is some of the teachers, they need to fire a large percent of the teachers, because at the same time there is teachers that do care, but a large percent don't care nowadays, and that's why the kids run over the teachers and they basically run the school systems. You know what I mean? They need tighter security inside what we say the hood, the urban schools. We need tighter security, and we need to man up and tighten up. It comes from the Board of Education, because they don't help. I did things for the school. I did it for Camden High. I did it for Pond Point, and I told these people to support me to get things, for the kids, like, little trophies and stuff like that. And I did performances with major artists that came from out the city. And the major artists that came out the city was the ones that supported me with the supplies. The city of Camden did not help me. I do homeless drives, and half them homeless drives, when they give off Thanksgiving plates and stuff, I do that. You know what I'm saying? On my own pocket. When I went to Dana Red and I went to all these people who denied me the help. You know what I'm saying? So is all across the board. You know what I mean? I talked to a couple of the teachers, and some of the teachers acted like they didn't care. Then you had the handful of teachers that did care. So I'm not attacking all the teachers. I'm just saying that, we need to get rid of the large portion of teachers that ain't doing nothing, and start getting people that really care about the kids and really want to work and is not afraid of the kids either. Because a lot of teachers are afraid of the kids, and they run in the school system.
The fact of the matter is, to get rid of one bad teacher, it takes thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and years and years and years to get rid of one teacher. Mary,
okay, I'm just going to follow up on that. Last week there was an article in the NJ.com about the school system and the charter schools versus the public school, and a teacher put some excellent comments, which I have a copy of here. And one of the problems that they pointed out was, if you get rid of the disruptive students, you will eliminate most of the problems. Okay. And I find that interesting because, as a firefighter, sometimes when I walk into these classes during drills or education, you see these disruptive students. And I wonder if maybe it comes down to one or two from each class, whatever, that have to be removed that might greatly improve the environment. But, that should be studied, I guess.
I'm going to answer you on that one.
Go ahead, Jose.
When when my kids started school, they started with this bilingual education thing, right? And that was sort of like an excuse to put these kids. There are some kids who are hypo when they start school, and they throw them all in the lump. And those are the kids as growing up. They have problems with hypo and mental and stuff, and they throw them in a classroom that they don't belong to, instead of putting them in a special class that they should have for these kids who have problems, so they can control. So that's what it's all about. So that means the system failed again.
I found that the disrupted students in a classroom are kids who are looking for attention because they are so far behind on their academics that they disrupt. Because when you ask a kid to read in class, that's the most embarrassing thing you could do to a kid.
No doubt.
So a kid,
no doubt.
So the kid will use this disruption to
camouflage.
To get attention,
right.
And also you have kids who have issues that they don't need to be in that classroom. But again, any kid, you could touch any kid with communication, respect, and love. And that's what's not in our classrooms right there. There is no love, there is no communication, and there's no respect for these kids. Marianne.
And Angel, I was a school teacher also, and I know I've had disruptive kids in my classroom.
Teachers.
And the problem is that some of the parents that are in the teachers in the public schools, they don't like to communicate with the parents. They're afraid to communicate with the parents. And as a teacher myself, I always spend time after school talking to the parents, working on different systems that we can work with their children to improve their children. And some of them are looking. They're trying to get attention because they don't get attention at home. So they're trying to strive, they're trying to fit in. It has to do with fitting in with their peers. So
yeah, some of these kids, Marianne, don't have a decent meal in the morning, get hardly no sleep at night for whatever the reason. Their house is in shambles. Okay, so yeah, we have a problem at home, but you need to show that kid love. Like when my kids come to my school, I thank God for every kid. I shake their hands. I play with them. I show them the love that I have for them. I communicate with them. I become a detective to find out if something is wrong when they have a frown. I need to turn that frown upside down. Hey. So that's what, and that's what needs to happen in the school. Right. It needs to be more personal. It needs to be, you have guidance counselors getting money and doing nothing. So let's go to AJ. AJ!
Yay. Well,
the passionate Puerto Rican.
That's right.
I'm
always for, better education. My concern, with this bill has always been and always will be that, that to make sure that the poor children are the ones who are going to benefit from it and not, middle class people who, are trying to being brought back to the cities, so they can.
Hey Jay, there is no rich people in Camden Public Schools.
No, there isn't. Not right now, but there will be.
That ain't gonna happen.
We'll hope that when they do come in. See, let me tell you something. Raising a kid in Camden is a form of child abuse. No middle class person is going to move to Camden risk their kids' lives in these public schools when they have the means.
That's right. You hit the point that I'm trying to make.
When they have the means to send them to a public school or stay where they are. If you do that and you have the means to do that and enroll your kid in these prison we go school, you should be charged with endangering kids' lives.
I'm not saying that they're going to move into the city. I'm not saying that they're going to move into the city and send them to public school. No, they don't, because the plan of 9 new charter schools will take care of that fear that middle class people have of the importance of their education for their children.
You have to be in a public school to qualify for the OSA. There's no, you can't go to a charter school and qualify for this. No, you have to go
let me tell you, in Camden, anything is possible. Anything's possible. They don't follow the rules.
Understand that the OSA has nothing to do with Camden politics. There's going to be a scholarship organization running this, and we're going to be looking at this, and ain't no hanky panky. This program is going, once it is established, once it is approved, there's no way that we're going to allow anybody to
the mayor inviting people to Camden, the middle class to Camden. Read that I just showed you. What did it say? The middle people saying
read that.
On the top, the top one. Read it in the.
Read it. One, they're affordable.
Read it in the mic. Read it in the mic. The first one.
Affordable, attractive housing in safe neighborhoods is a critical component of what is needed to revitalize our city. No, you know what? Let me tell you.
About the school scene.
First off, Camden isn't and never will be a part with those cities named. What are the cities named?
Chicago, so and so. Okay.
Okay. We're in, because we have to be, very specific about.
Well, that's people calling, not me.
Okay. Where in the world would a family send their kids for schools? Camden High, Wilson. Would you have to send them for defensive tactics training first? Secondly, Mayor Red, please tell us where those safe neighborhoods are. I hate to be the bearer of the bad news, but they aren't but there aren't any.
All right. So, hey, Dan, we're back to you, Dan.
Well,
we're back to you, Dan.
Hey, Angel, yeah, I know, I'm listening in. That's very interesting. Couple of things. Yeah, of course, it shouldn't be seen as bashing teachers. That's one thing. You know, we learned that in California. The teachers union, one of the ways they beat us is they said we're always bashing teachers. Well, we weren't bashing teachers.
But then, just to clarify, we have never, ever bashed teachers. The
Right.
way that the teachers union get around that is to say, they keep saying, we bash teachers, so teachers and people could talk about that. But anytime you talk about OSA, people are saying it's about teacher. It's the teacher's fault. We have never said it's about teacher's fault. We always said it's the system's fault. It's a system does not work, that ties teachers' hands and allow bad teachers to continue. Go ahead.
Yeah, see, I got to tell you, I'm not a big fan of charter schools as a final solution.
No.
My solution is freedom. My solution is vouchers.
Choice.
My solution is you give every parent the money that's going to be spent on the child's education and let them decide where the child goes to school. You know, you mentioned something before. You said, Angel, for your kids, you said, you know, you thank God you can help their kids. Well, that's one thing that's illegal to even think in a public school. You can't even think or talk about God in a public school. And that's where this country went wrong. And if you give parents the choice to send their kids wherever they want, you'll change society. You'll get rid of the unsafe neighborhoods. You'll stop the divorce rate. You'll bring kids up into the world who have skills, education, and a desire to learn and contribute to society. And that's what will correct things. There is no outside organization or program that's going to solve these problems. It's up to each individual parent. And the problem with our system is that we take away the rights and responsibilities of parents to educate their own children, something that was always done in this country up until the 20th century. And you can see the results. The education system takes in more and more money, and the test scores keep going down. You know, Angel, you had one of the best lines in that movie, The Cartel. You remember, you're sitting there against the wall saying, what did you do with the money? Where's the money? The money's gone. It went down the pockets of the people that have been corrupted by the system. And until we get the money back into the hands of parents and let them decide where their kids go to school, we're not going to solve this problem.
Absolutely. And we're not talking about public education in whole in New Jersey. We're just talking about 31 Abbott districts and some urban districts like Atlantic City that is not an Abbott district and other districts that are where Hispanics and African Americans are. And these schools are districts are pathetic. And how much, Dan, can you say how much money is being spent on 31 districts out of 406 or 600?
No, Angel, I don't have the numbers in front of me.
500
For example, up in Newark, it's approaching $27,000 here per student, and they're not coming out educated. That's criminal. That's
Absolutely.
crime.
Absolutely. In Camden, you are $22,500 per child, and a mile from Camden, Cherry Hill spends $9,000.
$9,000.
And then you have swimming pools, you have great schools, you have clean schools, you don't have bars on the window at $9,000, $10,000. And you know, we have $22,000 per kid at 14,500 kids.
How many kids graduated last year? Remember, 14
Oh, man,
and 24.
See, look, the literacy rate for Camden kids in the high schools is 26 for reading and 13 for math. That is the worst in the planet, and we still continue to find a way to justify this genociding, and again, we continue to give free passage to these black and Hispanic legislators who continue to sell out the dream, the American dream, and They're people.
Well, the system has collapsed. No doubt about that.
Like,
we're past collapse.
Yeah,
I mean,
30 years ago it did that.
We need to start over at this point.
Let me ask her, what's your name again? I'm sorry.
Marian.
I gotta remember now, Marian. Marian, you say that teachers don't like to talk to parents. Can you give me, I understand what you're trying to say. What do you mean by that? What you was trying to say?
I was trying to say, well, when I was back teaching years ago, that some parents, I mean, right now you communicate through email, text messages and stuff, but I think it needs to be more on a personal level. Phone calls, follow up on a phone call, whether the kid's failing or not let them know, a week ahead of time, hey, your kid's failing, or your kid's having a problem in school, or fighting is an issue. You have to nip it in the butt, you got to talk. Don't let it linger. Like, talk right away. Communicate with parents. It's too much with this technology today and email and back and forth. What happened to the personal contact?
I understand what you were saying, because I'm one of those guys who say the same thing. The parents got to get involved in the kids' education. You got to go to school. You got to talk to the teacher. You got to work with the teacher. Instead don't go in there as a ghetto warrior. Because you told my kids, I'm going to get you, I'm going to sue you, the stuff. And that's one of the big problems. Why that happened? Because the parents of those kids went to the same thing. It's a vicious circle. Yeah. They never went to school. They were dropped out. Their father was alcoholic or a drug addict, the grandma. And that goes to educate. You have to educate practically the whole community.
Right. Well, you got to educate the parents and as well as educating the children.
Educating the community is not a school district problem here. You need to pay attention to that kid. You need to work with that kid. That's your priority. Once you say we need to do more for the community, for the drugs, and for the household, you have given up already. You gave up on that child. You're supposed to concentrate on that kid. Let the local government do the streets, do the house, do everything else, but to concentrate on the kids. Stop this, which you have to go out there. No, when a parent comes to your school, treat them with respect. Listen to what the parent is saying. Try to communicate. Give them some love too, because all these people, what they need is love. That's how we do it at the CERN program. That's in charter schools. Charter schools, I like charter school, but I got my issues, because I think we should be trying to force the school districts to fix themselves. To get the school districts to fix. Charter schools is about pulling people out of the schools, and the OSA was going to force these school districts to do that. But the charter schools, they communicate with the parents. They're more involved with the parents, and the parents respond to the charter school.
There you go. The word respond. Respond.
These are the same parents.
Respond.
These are not new parents. This is the same parents that are out there, and they respond to the charter school, but don't respond to the public school, because the public schools are a hostile environment.
Angel, but the parent who took that kid out of public school to put her in charter school is because he went there, he cares, he went there, he saw that the school system wasn't working for her, and they decided, you know what, I'm going to send my kids to charter school, because now they want to get involved, but they weren't able to get involved in the public school system because there was a failing.
It's a different environment. There was a slot open for that child, and that child went in. There's a 2-year waiting list for these schools, for these kids in Camden. And my problem with this is you got seven charter schools in Camden, and they should be taking only Camden children.
Oh, I agree with that.
Only Camden children.
I agree with that.
You got Voorhees, you got Collinswood, you got all these kids from
Pennsauken, Bel Air.
Come on.
I understand that.
One other thing. What the hell is a charter school doing in the suburbs?
Oh, this guy, what's his name?
Help me out with that. I don't understand that.
But also, unfortunately, back to replying to what Dan was saying, is, I got to say this again, is not bashing the teachers. If we had more teachers like the good old days, Miss Marianne, that's a good teacher. You know what I'm saying? Where they was staying in touch with the parents and talking to the parents and stuff like that. We don't got teachers doing that. They want to do everything through email and everything. I went in classrooms where the teacher is talking and the kids got an iPod in their ear.
Yeah.
So, whose fault is that? That's the teacher's fault. Because the teacher ain't showing them nothing. And I walked into like 5-6 classrooms that day and I saw the same thing in every class. So that's the teacher's fault. So if we got to bash the teachers, bash the teachers. Because there's good teachers, but if you seeing it in a classroom happening, the good old days, we wasn't raised like that. You know what I mean? You had their undivided attention.
Right.
And if there was a problem, like Marianne said, you would talk to the parents, you would communicate and get that problem straight. You know what I mean? And that's what we need. We need teachers to grow some cojones and do the right thing.
And not only that,
that's it.
watch this. And don't let that teacher take the phone away from the kid, because the parents will walk to that door like a ghetto warrior and going to beat the teacher up.
All right. We got to move on to.
So you lock the parent up.
We got to move on to other topics. Chief, you have anything to say on this one?
No, I think I pretty much said what I have to say is
hell with the teachers union. That's what you're saying.
Hey man, I'm a union guy too.
No.
I'm the anti-union guy.
You cannot compare your unions, regular unions, to teachers union. Okay,
I got you.
That is a what is it? Cartel kind of mafia, and they're terrorists.
I'll keep formulating my opinion on that.
Dan.
Yeah.
What you think about the terrorist teachers union?
Oh, I'll tell you. Listen, in California, let me tell you a little story. In California, I was debating a woman who's on the board of the California Teachers Association. And we're talking out in the hallway before this debate. And, it's a nice older woman. Reminded me of my grandmother, very sharp gal. Her name was Marilyn something. I forget what. And I said, well, Marilyn, I'm Dan. How you doing? We're going to have a nice debate. Let's get the issues out and all that.
Uh-huh.
We get up on stage.
And she took out a knife.
Right? Yeah. We get up on stage in front of like 1,000 people.
Uh-huh.
We're talking. After a few minutes, I said, but Marilyn, don't you think? And she stopped me and she said, how dare you call me by my first name?
Whoa.
I said, and I'll tell you what, that was like getting punched in the mouth, because I didn't recover from that. I thought, what's the matter with this woman? We were talking out there on a first-name basis for like 20 minutes, a few minutes ago. And, of course, afterward, I realized that was a tactic she used to make me look bad in front of the audience.
Dan, you should have said, I'm sorry, ma'am, I'll call you by your last name. Okay, old bag.
Well, I'll tell you, that tactic, that sleazy tactic worked, because, I didn't recover from most of the debate. I just couldn't believe that she'd pull that kind of trick. But look, we all know that's what people in power do to protect their own interests.
Oh, yeah. We know.
It just goes on and on. You can see it in every facet of life. One of the problems I see is that education is no longer about teaching kids to think critically, to be able to read and write.
Absolutely.
They're not even interested in that anymore. All they want is citizens that won't cause trouble. They'll show up for work every day, not argue too much. And that way, when the legislators put through these really crazy ideas for laws, the kids won't even know what's wrong with them. Mm-hmm. The kids won't complain. The kids just say, let me have some music, some drugs, some sex, and leave me alone. And that way, the people in control get what they want, and they don't get any grief from the citizens. Unfortunately, that's where we're at.
That's the plantation.
Absolutely.
That's the plantation.
I'm going to move on, but I hope to get another call from you next week and talk more, because we need to let people know that after the election, there's an opportunity for the Opportunity Scholarship Act to the OSA to be posted, and if it's posted, it will pass.
Absolutely, and after that, we got to work on vouchers and free choice for everyone, including teachers.
Absolutely, absolutely. Get away from the collective bargaining.
Absolutely. Well, listen, Angel, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry I wasn't down there to meet all you folks, but good luck and keep up the good work, everybody.
Absolutely. Guys,
thanks, Dan.
Say bye to Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Bye, Dan. You guys are too much. Y'all play too much. Look, like I was saying with the teachers here, to me, the best teacher is the teacher coming out of college, who's motivated, who's ready to take it, passionate like you, and ready to take on the world. But unfortunately, they're the ones who get fired the first. Let's take on this school. Eye of the Tiger, may I help you?
Yes. This is Manga Lisa Davis here. I wanted to.
Oh my God! Please.
How are you, Mongo?
Are you kidding me?
It's a fresh of air to hear your
Fresh of air.
Hey, Mongo,
Yeah, out of the Northgate 2 building.
Mongo, what are you doing to AJ? She's her eyes lit.
I don't know, man.
Mongo! What are you doing to her, Mongo?
To who?
To AJ.
AJ is a warrior. She's a warrior goddess.
You smoke today?
Yeah, what I mean, she's a dynamite person, and she's got compassion. She's a soldier. She don't fight for people, not only for in Camden, but all people.
She's a Puerto Rican passionate. Ooh.
That's right.
She didn't have any clarify was ooh.
Let him talk. I want to hear.
What's up?
I want to hear this one.
What do you got for us, Mongo?
Hey, listen. We had a meeting Wednesday at the FOP with this coalition here, that the citywide coalition to stop the unfair property taxes and assessment. There was a history meeting there. History from this point. The first time that I would know, and a lot of other people pointed that out to me, that what you had in there, we had around about 85 people in this meeting.
Yeah, it went down
There
20.
were Mexicans and Puerto Ricans in the same room.
Don't
Unheard
forget
of.
the Koreans.
Women in there unheard of. Indian citizens in there unheard of. All in the same room. White businessmen, law enforcement.
Yes, it is.
That was a powerful setting, man. You just had to be there. And to say that, the segue is this. This is what coalitions are all about. Coalitions mean you can still maintain your own principles in terms of what you struggle for in your everyday life, but you come together on one accord, one agreement, which is the taxes that is killing everybody. They're stealing the American dream. The American dream is to hold and to have your home, your castle. That is more powerful than the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution.
Hallelujah.
But Mongo, the mayor just announced that she's giving tax breaks to those who work outside of Camden to come live in Camden. So the mayor already has a plan to replace the ones who can't afford to stay in Camden.
Exactly.
Okay? So she's already making the American dream come for others. It doesn't apply for us. In the studio today, I have Jose Santiago, Big Lou, you know Big Lou from the rapper, the man who got his own record label. The vice president of the firefighters, Latino firefighter, the chief, Marianne, a champion for the Opportunity Scholarship, something we don't talk about schools in Camden, and they're the worst in the planet. And of course we got AJ.
That's right.
Mongo. So I just wanted to let you know who's here.
Mongo, I would like to.
Thank you for giving me a roll call on who is in the house. I can appreciate the causes and the contributions that everybody's making in their own individual
that must be a good week.
Struggle. But we are fighting the same enemy.
No.
The evil, the man you talked about, and all the city council's planning board, school board are controlled by the special interests. I don't care who it is. The man don't do what she's supposed to do because she's not told to do what she's supposed to do. Frank Moran, the president of the city council, he don't do what he's supposed to do unless he is told. That's why they do not do this thing that we're looking for them to do for us as citizens. They have relinquished their responsibility for special interests. We do not understand civics. We can take the city in terms of just from the politics. The Spanish do not, the Puerto Rican community do not vote their numbers. If you look at the history of voting in the city of Camden, you have to have African American votes in order to win election. If you look at Frank Moran's numbers when he ran for the primary, 163 votes to win the primary, unheard of. That means that the 35,000
Mongo,
We have to take our city back.
Mongo, what's happening in Camden is the administration, leading with the mayor, is doing everything they can to hurt the community of Camden. And the only time they do anything for the community is 3 weeks before the election. What happened 3 weeks ago? The mayor gave out trash cans.
Hey, Angel Cordero, listen. I heard you say something earlier about the vouchers and charter schools.
Yes.
First, the vouchers are not going to fly, and I'm going to tell you why. You didn't say anything about the senator's amendment to the proposal, the bill that he introduced, and they read it at the school board meeting at the last meeting in response to the article from the Educational Law Center that said that they were going to ask for an investigation how they held up Landon Square School for the Rowan University and Cooper Medical Project. And he said in the amendment that Donald Norcross introduced is this. He said that they will take the Landon Square School, and they got a bill that speaks to failing schools being took over by private-run corporations. Now, Landon Square School is not a new school. It is a replacement school, and it's the highest in the top 5 in academic and test scores.
But Mongo, really quick, because I got to get all these guys in here. They take on this. But Landon Square has nothing to do with the Opportunity Scholarship Act. The OSA is different from anything that Norcross or anybody is planning. The OSA is different from anything. It gives the opportunity to parents to take their kids out of the school, out of a school who's failing, which like Woodrow Wilson or Camden High, which in my opinion are prisons, and send them to other schools. Now that's what the OSA does. It has nothing to do with Landon Square. I agree with you. Landon Square is an old school. It's a new site, and I have no idea why it's not finished or it's not even being built. But that has nothing to do with the OSA. The OSA entirely different. Now, the Educational Law Center, Educational Law Center are a joke. They don't stand for children. They only stand for the special interests, and that's it alone. Like everybody else, sucking up the money that belongs to our children. And you cannot tell me, Mongo, that our children are being educated in Camden. We are walking zombies in our city. In our city. Well, let me get on to the panel here, and we'll come back to you. All right, tell me.
Well, you can't build a city if you don't have the resources. And, if we want our people to have jobs, they got to have an education. If you want to attract businesses into the city, the people have to have an education to work in those businesses. If you want people to own their homes, they got to be able to have a job to afford to buy and afford those homes and maintain those homes. I mean,
pay the taxes too.
And pay the taxes.
Wait a minute,
Marianne. You want to shine in, Marianne?
Shine in? Well, the taxes we're killing the people, You're paying high taxes and you're sending kids to public schools,
And no services.
And no services, right.
All
exactly,
right.
no services.
Ahead.
I pay high taxes, but I send one kid to public school and the other one goes to Catholic school.
So what public school do your kid go to?
My son's only in preschool, so he's in
And
Glassboro.
what public school is he going to go to?
But he chills in
I don't know. He
neighborhood.
might be going to the Catholic school. I'm not sure yet.
And if you had a
Depends on
choice,
tuition.
what school district are we talking about? That's why I want to go. What school district are we talking about?
It's not Camden.
Thank you, because you won't even think about it.
Nope.
Because if you send your kid to
but you know what?
having money, if you send your kid to Camden school, you should be charged, indicted, put in jail.
I'm against high taxes. I'm against high taxes.
Hold on, wait, go.
I am against high taxes.
Other point that I didn't mention here that was read in that amendment that the Georgia that they cannot those schools that get those vouchers and certificates will not be able to be religious schools that teach religious schools. So the Catholic diocese is not going to be for, but that's because that's what it was all about anyway, to save the parochial schools.
No. It was Mongo. excuse me, Mongo. It was 25% set aside for Catholic and 75% was for the public schools. But that 25% has been taken out already. All right, there's no more 25% set aside. But look at this, Mongo. If the Catholic schools in Camden closes, which is where they headed, where do you think that all these Catholic kids are going to go to school? It's going to go back to the public schools, costing millions and millions of dollars to the taxpayers. When we could
$40 million out of the Camden school system for what they already took for the alternative schools.
You know they waste. Mongo, you know they wasted still some more than their share. $365 million, $22,500 a kid, and you cannot educate 80% of them. Come on, we shouldn't be talking about how to work this. We should be talking about how to demolish this debacle that's happening to black and Hispanic children. We don't talk about the children. Hold up for a minute.
Well, Mongo, I want to, thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time out to bring, the Hispanic, the Afro-American, the Caucasian, the Korean out together. And I tell you something. You see how some of the suspects and fakers are acting. They do that when somebody's doing a good job. When they're not being prejudiced against other groups and working together as one for the cause of property taxes.
Big Lou, and we got to come back to the subject.
This goes to Mongo. So since he said the suspects, the fakers and stuff like that, I think I'm the realest person in Camden, and everybody should feel like that. But to you, Mongo, if you really are for the cause, we all here trying to find a solution to Camden. So my question is to you, this is the best solution that I could tell you. Are you with what Dana Red is doing? I just need a short question. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. Are you good with what Dana Red is doing in the city of Camden? I just need an answer.
No,
are you sure? Are you good with what Dana Red is doing for the city of Camden? Just yes or no.
I answer that.
That's a yes. All right. What's question?
Just because I'm a rapper don't mean I ain't an intelligent man. You know what I mean? I was an honor roll student and I do my thing. So this is why I'm asking you the question. Is it good what Dana Red is doing for the city of Camden? Yes or no? That's all I want to know. All right, that's enough. Now listen, if you really want to do something for the city of Camden, you as a black man, let's take, and I challenge Angel Cordero to this. He take all the Hispanics, you gather all the black people, and let's come together and fight against Dana Red and call a big meeting, and let's see how this can go down. And this is what you call a coalition. That's what you do. You know what I mean? As a man, see, I don't.
Can I respond to that?
Mongo, you got 1 minute because we gotta go.
I'm sorry I put you on the spot, but this is real. You dealing with real people, and this is as real as it gets. It's Big Lou, baby.
Mongo, you got 1 minute. Go ahead.
Hey, can I say this? Listen, do you think for one reason that Dana Red is calling the shots? She is only a figurehead like every politician on the city council and the school board and the planning. They are doing what they're told. It's not about Dana Red.
It don't matter if Dana Red. It don't matter if Dana Red is calling the shot. But the figure can make a difference. She's the figure for Camden, New Jersey. So whatever Dana Red says, the people will believe. So my question to you, which you didn't answer, is do you feel what Dana Red and her goons in the back of her is doing good for the city of Camden? Answer that question.
He's one of the goons.
No, hey, Mongo, next week I want you here.
I know what I'm saying. So I'm a strong leader in Camden, in my own right. Big Lou!
Hey, Mongo, next week you could call in and you could come in and we have another.
I want you to ask Santiago.
All right, Mongo, thank you.
I'm going to answer you. I am going to
ask me.
All
right, guys. Guys,
I will answer you in a second.
okay, guys.
Because you were there. Because you were there.
Let's go to the news of the day.
Jose
we only
Santiago
got
is a
5 minutes.
Hispanic man.
That's
Mondo
right.
Mondalise is a black male. We trying to make the people come, Puerto Ricans and blacks together, and the
As a
people that's
coalition.
against, we come as a coalition. That's when you stick the people and you see who's the real fakers,
He
the
is a
suspects,
faker.
and
I know,
everything.
I know
When you
the
can't
truth.
answer me a question that solid, that goes to show. See, I
That's
know how
right.
to hit.
Yeah,
And I used to
and
fight
look,
all my life, so I'm a fighter.
When a black man says Dana Red is not the problem, it's that she takes orders from someone else, and it's not her running the shop. Excuse me, we didn't elect nobody else
Exactly.
but Mayor Red.
Exactly.
You are the figure. You are the chief operating officer. You are the commander in chief. I don't care what you think, but it's on you.
Exactly.
And whatever happens, it's on you.
Exactly.
And we hold you accountable. When you do that, when you put the finger on somebody else, you giving her a pass and you agreeing what she was doing. And at the end of the day, you will vote for her again.
Exactly.
I'm going to answer that lady there.
Really quick.
I'm going to
I gotta
answer
go
the
to
lady.
the news today.
I'm not with the mayor. First of all, I'm a Republican. Secondly, you were there in that seat. You were sitting next to her all the way to the right-hand side of the 10-feet table. You were sitting next to her, and you see me what I heard. I'm not a sellout. I'm a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. And then, right, I'm against taxes. And the reason why you say that is because I sold I do a reverse mortgage, and I pay my house off. And I pay my taxes. Okay. Now, somebody went out there and told the people that I was making a deal for myself.
Okay.
I don't think anybody in this room is a sellout because everybody here is passionate and fighting for what they believe in. And I think in the end, we're all fighting for our people and to advance the city.
Okay. News of the day. Let's go with Corzine, our great governor. Corzine!
This is
going to go with Wayne Bryan. They're going with Brett Ryan.
Now, this is a man that, 2 years ago when President Obama was elected, that they were thinking about making him Treasury Secretary. He was in the top 5 list.
He was the one who ordered it.
He's a man that left Goldman Sachs with $200 million, and now he has to dip into customer accounts in the tune of $600 to $900 million.
He's going to jail.
He's going to the pokey.
He's going to jail.
He's going to join Wayne Bryan.
News of the day, AJ.
Okay, I would like to announce that the citywide coalition to stop unfair
And what's the name of the coalition?
It's called Citywide Coalition.
It's not Rainbow Coalition?
It's the who?
The Rainbow Coalition. That's
Well,
what
we should have called it the Rainbow Coalition.
Jackson was
we're having a rally November 7th at 3 o'clock at City Hall Plaza, so please make sure that you come out. And also, there is a letter that Senator Donald Norcross and Assemblyman Angel Fuente and Gilbert Whip Wilson send out to the community in the city of Camden that they are deeply concerned about the hardship that they have imposed on the citizens in the city of Camden, and and this is what they're saying. As resident of the city, we know firsthand the financial hardship this new rates will inflict on homeowners. Well, the only one that I know that live in the city of Camden of these 3 gentlemen is Angel Fuente and Gilbert Whip Wilson, Senator, Donald Norcross. He you don't live there, baby.
All right. Going back to you, Mr. Chief. Chief, tell me what's going on.
Well, can it get any worse?
Yes.
You know what?
Yes, it can.
It definitely feels it because I tell you what, yesterday I had a tough day in the city. It seems like everybody's losing their job. I have a friend that his wife went in the hospital, no health insurance. He has to come up with $15,000. He's ready to sell his work truck. And it just got worse and worse until I got home. And then my neighbors were filing for bankruptcy, 2 of them. And I'm like, wow.
It
Here
keeps
we
getting
are.
worse.
It's going to get worse on February 2012 when they increase the taxes 1 to 4%. So it is going to get worse.
Eye of the Tiger, you got half a minute.
Okay.
Who's this?
Hey, what's up?
Who's this? Ulysses.
Ulysses.
Go ahead, talk real quick. Ulysses, what do you have to say? Okay, you got a minute, half a minute.
Quiero decirle que salgan a votar, que no se dejen comer el voto de esos democráticos ahí.
Está bien.
Que no taxe al pueblo.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait.
Okay. Last word, Marianne, please. You got lip much.
All right, I'll talk fast. Let's try to get this Opportunity Scholarship Act passed. There's a rally in Trenton on December the 1st.
We'll talk more about that
See you
next
there.
week. AJ.
People come out and vote. Don't vote for the fakers. Don't vote for the suspect.
Don't vote Democrat.
Vote